Listen, if it's one thing that I'm pretty sure we're all aware of is that life is out here moving fast, okay? It's a lot going on. We got society telling us what we should be doing, we should be, all while we're still trying to figure ourselves out. But you know what we can do? We can be mindful of where we are in this present moment and take small steps towards becoming better by the day and towards reaching our God-given purpose. So let's figure it out and work through it together. Welcome to Mindful Moments, y'all. A space where we talk it out, laugh it out, cry it out, hash it out. Listen, just get it all out, okay? This is a safe space for you, where we talk about the ups, the downs, even the in-betweens. A place where we go through it so we can grow through it. Tune in every week as we fill our minds with who we're destined to be, with positivity, with awareness, and honestly, just with love. So I encourage you, let's be mindful of today in hopes for, yes, a better you, but also in hopes for a better tomorrow. Again, welcome to Mindful Moments. Welcome back to another episode of Mindful Moments. I'm your host, Jada Lowe. How are y'all feeling? How y'all doing? If you're listening on Apple, Spotify, or Google, thank you for listening. Thank you for giving me your ears for a few minutes. And if you're on YouTube, thank you for tuning in again. But yeah, how y'all feeling? What's going on with you? And you might ask yourself, well, Jada, you always ask us how we're feeling, even though I can't really hear y'all, but you get what I'm saying. You may say, Jada, how are you feeling? Y'all want the generic answer, or do y'all want the real deal Holyfield answer? Generic answer, I'm doing good. She's good. Real deal Holyfield answer, I'm feeling inadequate today. That is the truth. She is feeling inadequate. Does that mean I'm inadequate? No. Do I believe I'm inadequate? No. But am I feeling inadequate? Yeah. I'm just being honest, y'all. That's how I'm feeling. So that's what I'm gonna talk about, just like a little bit of my thought process. And I just feel like mentally bogged down currently over these past few days. Yeah, I just feel the pod wave, the zeal for podding has mellowed out. And so now this is the time where I'm riding off of consistency, discipline, passion, and purpose still, and responsibility. So in the midst of pursuing full-time content creation, right? Life has been happening, and the things that I've seen have caused me to kind of get distracted and put my focus and attention in other things. And not that it's caused me to take my attention away from podcasting and doing content, but it's just I want to learn how to balance multiple things at once and execute multiple things at once. But right now, it's a challenge because it's taking my focus away from the things that I really want to do. And yeah, it's just making me question if I'm capable of doing all these things. Am I capable of being consistent? And that's been my headspace the past few days. I know that I'm capable. I know that I can do it. I tell myself that. But sometimes when we affirm ourselves, we don't think of the times where the feeling can pop into our head that's the opposite. And so how do we combat that? How do we fight that? And how do we ultimately just push forward in the fact of what we know in spite of what we feel? And yeah, I've just been having to be a little more cognizant and a little more gracious towards myself, because I just feel like the only word that I know to describe is inadequacy. But I know that's a lie. And God has sent me a few different messages over the past, really this morning, honestly. I was watching a video with Dharius Daniels, and that video really spoke to me. And then I was on a prayer call this morning with Tasha. Shout out to Tasha. She's like the big sis that I've always wanted. But the video that Dharius Daniels was talking about, he was saying when you treat a lie like it's the truth, the lie starts behaving like it's true in your life. And that really, you have a mic drop, mind blown moment. That was that moment for me. The lie being inadequacy. I feel inadequate. I know that's a lie. I know I'm capable of doing it. but I'm trying to be careful because in the past I've experienced where I've thought something about myself or something that was the opposite of what I knew I could do or the opposite of what I knew God said about me. And I let it sit too long to where it started to affect how I operated. It started to affect how I was moving to the point where, and I think that's the case for a lot of the things that we do, where we give so much time and attention to the lie, where when it becomes the truth, it's not that it was true all along. It's just you gave unnecessary attention to it. And so, given the fact that I've done that in the past, I'm trying to do a better job of not doing that now. But also, I'm not saying feeling the inadequacy, but seeing it and identifying where it came from, and seeing it as a hint. Like sometimes I believe the enemy puts stuff in our head or has us in a constant cycle of that's contrary to what we should be doing to distract us. And I think we need to use that as an indicator of maybe, I'm really her. I'm really him. If this keeps coming up, then there's gotta be a reason why, right? And yeah, just not giving so much attention and so much of my time and so much of my mental bandwidth to the lie that comes into my head just because it's life. Just because it comes into my head, that doesn't mean I have to entertain it. That doesn't mean that I have to believe it, but I can use it as an indication of what I need to do and how I need to move. And yeah, I've just, the whole idea of fact versus feeling, I think is one of just a big thing that I've been maneuvering through. Because I consider myself to be one of those people that feels deeply. If it's one thing she's gonna do, baby, she's going to feel. I get in my feelings. I get him. Derrico, you say he told me the other week that I overthink. So we already know. We already know what that's about. But yeah, I feel deeply, and that's a double-edged sword. And it's like you have to be responsible with that. You have to be responsible with it if you consider yourself to be a person that just feels deeply. And we're all human. We feel. But sometimes understanding that there's an underlying fact. And yes, I may feel inadequate. Yes, I may feel like I'm not enough. But the fact of the matter is I'm more than enough, and I am capable of doing it. And when you feel, and I had to tell myself too, like, girl, be for real. Like, you feel inadequate about like content creation and all that type of stuff. Go look at your Instagram at @O_Jada. Go look at your Instagram. Go look at your TikTok. Go look at the things that you've produced. So what's really matching up, babe? What's really matching up? Like, okay, you say you're inadequate, or you feel like you're inadequate, but you know deep down that you're not. And the things that you've produced have shown you that you're capable of doing it. So let's just take it for what it is. Okay, you felt that, but that's not true. So let's not even entertain the lie. Let's not. So seeing where you've come and seeing what you've done, even if it hasn't been maybe to your standard of where you'd like to be, it served a purpose for when you did it at the time. That way, when these feelings did come up, when these lies tried to creep in or whatever, you had something to reference that could help you to keep pushing just a little bit further. Size, baby, size. Yeah, y'all, that's just where it's just weird because I knew, as it relates to content, as it relates to podcasting and all that good stuff, I knew that this moment was going to come. Not that I don't still love it. I do. Don't get me wrong. But when you get, I guess, caught up in it, and when you get, like, when you're chasing it very heavily, and like the adrenaline dies down, and you're seeing it's requiring more intentionality, it's requiring more prayer, it's requiring more of me. And so now I have to see what else can I pull out of me and what else is required of me to be able to execute this, because ultimately it's bigger than me. It's just, it had me like, it stopped me in my tracks a little bit. I'm not going to lie. It really did. And I was boohoo crying like, God, like, where's my space? When is my time? And I feel like people who have a purpose and just who, like, if you're doing something that you know is bigger than you, you probably ask yourself these questions a lot of the time. If you know that you're doing something where the work that you're doing is not just for you, you ask yourself all the time, oh God, what is this for? Like, am I really supposed to be doing this? Why did you even call me here? Like, all of these whys. And that's what I kept asking myself the other day. And it just made me overwhelmed, because those whys lead to, well, am I really able to do it? And I know, like, you see I can do it. I know other people see I can do it. But when it comes to me, myself, and I, like, this is one of those moments where I just need help believing it a little bit more. And that was just where I was. Side note, it had me, like, so drained thinking about everything and other things just coming in place of that and having to be something else that I thought about, to where I kid y'all not, I've noticed that when I get mentally tired, my head hurts. Like, I get a headache, and like right here, my head starts to hurt. And I said, God, you know what? I need a nap. I need a nap. Sometimes you just got to say, God, look, I need a nap. I need a mental nap. And it threw me, because I'm like, I've been fine like these past few weeks, right? And I know every day isn't going to be la-di-da-di-da, but it just threw me for a loop, right? And I just said, God, I need a nap. And I was praying, and I cut the light on, and I went to pray. I said, you know what? This light is not going to make it. I had to cut the light off. I had to just lean my head back, and I just closed my eyes. Because if I were to open my eyes, baby, my head would have been hurting. And I mean, it's like, it's just like that sometimes. And I wanted to tell y'all that, because like, I know I get on here and it's encouraging and it's mindful, but baby, let me tell you something. Some days, Jada just gonna have to tell you how she feeling. And because I know like what I'm feeling, somebody else, it's 7 billion people in the world, somebody else got to be feeling like I'm feeling. And you never know who we can help. So balancing, or not even balancing, understanding the idea and the truth that, yes, you may feel what you feel, but there is a fact that outweighs that feeling. More specifically, if you believe in God, there's a fact of what he says about you. And in spite of how you feel, what he said is what he said. His truth is his truth. Even the truth as it pertains to you. Was that a bar? That was a bar. The syllables matched. But yeah, just knowing his truth. And I'm not saying ignore all of your feelings, but I'm also saying to not give the feelings and the lies too much attention, and knowing what to focus on, and just taking a deep breath and taking a nap. If you need to take a day off of work to get you a nap in because you're tired, and this just led me to something else. For all my people out there who teach, you have a superpower. I don't have kids, but let me tell you something. These kids these days are a different breed, and I know some of my friends and some of my family and the people I know, they are in the education system. And let me say, I commend you. If you need to take a nap to get your mind together from the cheering, take your day off and take a nap. That was just a side note, because teachers need to get paid more. That's a whole series, but they are underappreciated. Jada appreciates you. Mindful Moments, the whole platform, this whole space appreciates you. But I said all that to say, if you need a nap, take you a nap. No matter what profession you're in, get you a nap. And lastly, just like I said, shout out to Dr. Dharius Daniels too for saying that, because that really has helped me kind of come out of it a little bit. I'm gonna be honest, even recording this now, I still don't feel the best. I still feel like I just have so many questions, but I try not to let those questions derail me from what it is that I need to do. But don't treat the lie like it's truth to the point where it starts to behave like it's a truth in your life. And just move with knowing that you are worthy and capable. And know that anything that's coming in your head that's telling you the opposite of you're competent, you're worthy, and you're able is a lie. So yes, you may feel it a little bit. Yes, it may get you down, but don't entertain it to the point where it starts to affect how you operate, to where it becomes a truth. Now you're set back further than you would have wanted to be in the first place. And so I say it to encourage myself, and I say it to encourage you. Keep moving, breathe, take a nap. Step by step, keep moving. Well, no, you should probably take a nap first. Take a nap, but then you got to breathe while you're taking. Breathe and take a nap and keep moving, okay? But yeah, I had wanted to give y'all a check-in of like where I was at, because I know a lot of the episodes have been step by step by step, but it's not like, I'm just being honest, it's not like that today. It's not. I'm in my head today, and I'm just trying to move through and just feeling it, but not settling in it, feeling it, but not living in it. And so I encourage y'all to do the same if you're in the same headspace, and just be mindful of what you're feeling and how, and the intensity at which you're feeling it. So I just want you guys to know, as you continue to go through the rest of the day, or whatever time you're listening to this, that you are adequate, you are more than enough. And in the words of the amazing Derico, you are not an imposter. You are the one. You are Himothy. You are her. I love you. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Mindful Moments. I want y'all to remember this. Take it one step at a time. Know that you're capable. Know that you're worth it. Be intentional and know that everything you need to accomplish the things you want is already inside of you. But look, y'all, the podcast doesn't end here, okay? Be sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at O_Jada. That's O with 3 H's _JADA. You can see the visuals from past episodes and segments, and maybe even some teasers for upcoming episodes. And be sure to follow and like Mindful Moments on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, and even Google Podcasts. And as you go through your day, remember to be mindful of today in hopes for a better tomorrow. I'll see you in the next episode.